Former president has said this about the fourth stimulus check. They want to pass it now. Over 200 lawmakers are expanding the relief to millions of Americans, and Democrats and Republicans are beginning to discuss a negotiation that could send this to you. But as congressional Republicans increase discussions on social programs, a trio of Democrats in the House have reintroduced legislation that would make permanent the expanded multi-child tax credit. Even the American Family Act has been reintroduced by Representative Rosa DeLauro and Susan DeBlain. But the bill has been backed by over 200 House Democrats. The bill would expand the permanency of the expanded child tax credit as established in the American Rescue Plan. The expanded child tax credit would be expired at the end of the year, even as inflation continued to affect millions of Americans. The recently proposed bill would continue $300 monthly checks for children aged 6 and younger, while expanding the maximum credit to $250 per month and $3,000 annually. It is up from $2,000 under the previous policy. The bill also provides the full credit to children that have been left behind previously by revoking a rule limiting the refundable portion to $1,400 a year. It also eliminates the earnings requirement that previously excluded about a third of eligible children from the full credit. Representative DeLauro's office has noted that the expanded child tax credit assisted more than 60 million children and lifted nearly 4 million people out of poverty. And when they expanded and improved the child tax credit under the American Rescue Plan, it provided unprecedented economic security for families. The most recent monthly payments have helped people pay their bills and keep nutritious food on the table, afford school supplies, as well as manage mortgage or rent payments. Several Democrats have made it clear that this credit would be an investment to children and families. Advocacy groups have shown support for the bill's reintroduction. Even executive director of the Institute of Taxation said, "We are thrilled to see lawmakers prioritizing tax credits for the low and the middle income." The American Family Act comes amid Republicans' proposals to change the programs, including slashing funds for rental assistance and education programs. Folks, still, 2 states are ready to significantly ramp under the financial incentives for this bill to adopt renewable energy in EV vehicles under new laws that mimic the federal clean energy tax credits. The Minnesota lawmakers recently agreed on a $2 billion budget that dedicates hundreds of millions of dollars to cutting greenhouse gas. And what's clear about this is that Minnesota is going all in on this. About 900 million people, $900 million in Minnesota's next 2-year budget will pay for the tax credit. And because the credit is situational, not all families will be getting the stimulus money. Only certain households.
You know, first quarter of the 20th century, the poet Carl Sandburg described Chicago as a city of big shoulders. A city of big shoulders. He was describing the big shoulders of a working class American town who were building this city. At the same time, building the middle class. I'm here in Chicago today for the first quarter of the 21st century to talk about the economic vision for this country. The economy that grows the economy from the middle out and the bottom up instead of just the top down. When that happens, everybody does well. The wealthy still do it, everybody does well. The poor have a ladder up, and the wealthy still do well. We all do well. This vision is a fundamental break from the economic theory that has failed. Much of the technology and machinery that is used to make these chips was designed and produced in
counterfeit. They are being marketed, these pills, as though they are some other type of drug, but they are in fact laced with fentanyl. We are seeing a lot of that happen. So for example, people think that they are buying Oxy online and it is laced with fentanyl and it results in their death. We are seeing people who think they're taking Adderall or Xanax and again laced with fentanyl, and results in the outcomes that we are seeing in terms of the massive number of fatalities that our country has experienced within a short period of time. It is also important to understand the specific impact on the young people of our country. You know, there was a time where the young people of our country would go to a party and we as parents would be concerned about whether they were smoking weed or drinking alcohol underage. Now what's happening at these parties is people are passing around pills. And
involves some combo of raising the full retirement age, cutting benefits, or increasing payroll taxes. Senator King and Kennedy put forth 2 more ideas. One is to create a sovereign wealth fund that would be funded with $500 billion in borrowed money. If the fund fails to generate an 8% return, it will be cut, No more Social Security money for you. Another idea is to change the formula of tax, and that's for Social Security benefits from one based on a worker's average earnings to a formula-based one on the number of years spent working. Any of the ideas will require bipartisan support to make it into law, and the controlled House would actually need to approve the bill and will also take it to the Senate, where Democrats hold a razor-thin edge. Then President Biden will need to sign the bill into law, and everyone gets their free money that they need. The application for a one-year guaranteed income program is actually available in Rochester, New York, and this is launching a pilot guaranteed basic income program for the households with an income of up to below 185%. The new program will select 300 individuals to receive the benefits, and the extra income is unconditional because according to the nation's program's website, there are no strings attached, no work requirements, and no restrictions on how money can be used. Only one member of the household can receive the money, and they must reside in certain areas of the city. Also, a guaranteed income program in Wisconsin will be issuing you payments worth $500 just to you in a few days.
Before this committee for confirmation as Inspector General, and I intend to support that. Let me turn to Ms. Gomez. In 2015, the Federal Communications Commission approved the Open Internet Order, which put in place net neutrality protections and properly treated broadband as a telecommunications service under Title II of the Communications Act. The Trump-era FCC later eviscerated net neutrality and eliminated the Commission's rightful authority to protect broadband consumers, promote public safety, and close the digital divide. Yet the COVID-19 pandemic has left no doubt that today the internet is essential for everything from jobs to education.
$1,000 a year if you earn $15 an hour.
And Ali, the price of housing has soared in recent years. You're an average worker. My God, you're paying $1,500 a month to put a roof over your head and your child's head. The price of food.
Virginia need to hurry as the applications can only be filed until November 9. A point to note is that this guaranteed income program is specifically for people in the state of Virginia. The new relief program is going to be sent out based on basic income to hundreds of local families. Now, the mayor of a city in Virginia told reporters, guaranteed income program is a proven tool to help families become stronger and financially stronger footing and take steps to move up the economic ladder. From the total applications, everybody, the program will randomly select residents. The selected people will get $500 a month for 2 years, and authorities expect to first see the guaranteed income stimulus checks from Virginia in 2023. This program is going to cost $3 million, not a lot of money, and the funding for the program just comes from the CARES Act and the Rescue Plan Act. To be eligible for the guaranteed stimulus check, you must be at least 18 years older, and also applicants' annual income should be less than 50% of the area median income. Not only this, but other states and cities are doing the same thing. They're experimenting with this. They're experimenting with similar guaranteed income programs. Richmond, Virginia, for instance, came up with a similar program with just 18 families. New York also did the same thing. For the last 6 months, President Biden has just been talking with his advisors about discussing the gas prices and what needs to happen on this. That's because now single prices rattle consumers as much as the cost of gas, which crept up again to a new high of $5 a gallon in June, as it comes no surprise that soaring gas prices corresponded directly with President Biden's sinking approval rating. Since then, gas prices have fallen by about $1.10. Biden may have helped a little by releasing